SAT math problems every day during quarantine. Number 1. Which of the following is a value of x for which the expression negative 3 over x squared plus 3x minus 10 is undefined? Okay, so when a expression is undefined, that means that the denominator has to be equal to 0. So let's set the denominator equal to 0, and now we have to factor it. So that's going to factor out to x plus 5 and x minus 2. And that gives us x values of negative 5 and 2, because those are what make these two expressions equal to 0. So 2 is the only answer choice that matches, so that means the correct answer is D. SAT questions every day during quarantine. Number 2. This is asking if a to the negative 1/2 equals x, where a is greater than 0, what is a in terms of x? So all this is asking us to do is rearrange this equation to have a by itself with no negative 1/2 attached to it. So let's rewrite the equation. And to fix this, we're just going to raise both sides to the negative 2. So we're going to raise that to the negative 2, and we're going to raise this to the negative 2. And what that's going to do is that's going to cancel these powers out, and that's just going to become a to the 1, which is just a, equals x to the negative 2. And you can't have a negative exponent, and when you do that, you have to move it to the denominator. So that's actually going to become a equals 1 over x squared. The correct answer is C. SAT questions every day during quarantine. Number 3. The problem's asking, if 2a over b is equal to 1/2, what is the value of b over a? So when you have a problem that's asking about a over b, then what you want to do is you first want to divide by 2 in this case, to get rid of the coefficient. So we're going to divide this by 2, and we're going to divide this by 2, and when you divide by 2, you're really multiplying by 1/2. So we're going to have a over b is equal to 1/4. And now we're going to find the reciprocal, so we're going to do that just by flipping it. So we're going to get b over a is equal to 4 over 1, or just 4. So the correct answer in this case is D. SAT videos every day during quarantine. Number 4. The width of a rectangular dance floor is W feet. The length of the floor is 6 feet longer than its width. Which of the following expresses the perimeter in feet of the dance floor in terms of W? So let's draw out the rectangle, and let's label it. So we have the width, which is W, and the length, which is the width, and it's 6 feet longer. So we're going to represent that with W plus 6. This length should also be W plus 6 because it's equivalent, and so should this one. So the perimeter is just all these sides added up. So that's going to be W plus W plus W plus 6 plus W plus 6. And that's going to become 4 W's by combining like terms, and 2 6's, which will add up to 12. So your answer is 4W plus 12 feet, or choice B. SAT questions every day during quarantine. Number 5. In the figure above, point B lies on line segment AD. What is the value of 3x? So you're given this line segment AD and this line segment CB that are perpendicular to each other because of this 90-degree angle right here. Now it's going to make this angle right here that I'm highlighting also 90 degrees because it's supplementary because they're on the same line. That means that 2x plus 2x plus x are going to add up to 90 degrees, all this angle right here. And if you combine like terms, you're going to get 5x equals 90. Divide by 5, divide by 5, you get x is equal to 18. Now it wants us to have 3x, so you're going to multiply 18 by 3, and you're going to get 54. That makes C the correct answer. SAT questions every day during quarantine. Number 6. In the figure above, triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. What is the value of cosine E? When two triangles are similar, then that means that the ratio of their sides is the same. So 12 divided by 13 will be the same thing as this side divided by this side, or 12 divided by 5 will be the same thing as this side divided by this side because they correspond. So we're trying to find the cosine, which is a ratio of the adjacent side to the hypotenuse side because we know that from SOHCAHTOA. So it's going to be adjacent, which is this side right here because this is angle E, over this hypotenuse, which will be 12 divided by 13 because the ratio is the same. So it's B, because cosine E is equal to 12 over 13, adjacent over the hypotenuse. SAT questions every day during quarantine. Number 7. The volume of a sphere is given by the formula V equals 4/3 pi r cubed, where r is the radius of the sphere. Which of the following gives the radius of the sphere in terms of the volume of the sphere? So all this is asking us to do is to rearrange this equation in terms of r. We got to isolate r by itself. So my first step would be to multiply by 3/4 right here, which cancels that, and you have to do that to this side too. And that's going to turn into 3v over 4 is equal to pi r cubed. Now you're going to divide by pi, and dividing by pi on this side, you're multiplying by 1 over pi. So you get 3v over 4 pi is equal to r cubed. To get rid of a cube, you take a cube root, just like a square root. You take a square root to get rid of a square. That cancels that out, and you have to do it on this side too. So you get r equals the cube root of 3v over 4 pi. That matches D. D is correct. SAT questions every day during quarantine, number 8. So this problem is asking if a is equal to 5 root 2 and 2a is equal to root 2x, what is the value of x? So all this problem is saying is that this root 2x is twice of this 5 root 2. So we'll have root 2x is equal to 2 times 5 root 2, which just simplifies to 10 root 2. So now we have to solve for x, and you'll get that by squaring both sides. So you get 2x, because the square removes the radical, equals 100 times 2, because this 2 gets distributed here and here. 10 squared is 100, root 2 squared is 2, 2x equals 200, divide by 2, x equals 100. And that's your answer. And this was a free response question. SAT questions every day during quarantine, number 9. In triangle ABC above, what is the length of leg AD? So I'm going to start by filling some of these angles here, and we know this one's going to be 90 degrees because they are supplementary, and 90 plus 90 equals 180. And then we can fill in this one as 60 degrees because all three angles in a triangle must add up to 180. 60 plus 30 plus 90 is 180. Now we also know this triangle is isosceles because 60 and 60 are equal, and if two base angles are equal, then that means it's isosceles, making this side 12 because the opposite legs of those angles are also equivalent. And now that we know this is a 30, 60, 90 special right triangle, we can apply those rules to find this length. So the short length, which is this one, because it's opposite the smaller angle, is half of the hypotenuse, which is 12 in this case. So it's going to be half of 12, which is 6. So B is the correct answer. SAT questions every day during quarantine, number 10. A circle in the xy plane has center 5, 7, and radius 2. Which of the following is an equation of the circle? Okay, so we know that the standard form of a circle's equation with the center is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. And h and k, where the center is hk. So if our center is 5, then we know it should be x minus 5 plus y minus 7 squared, and our radius is 2, so it's 2 squared, which is just 4. So that matches answer choice A.